not tracking?
There appears to be a tracking device on your car.
Is that it?
It's a spy device. It's literally called Spy Tech GPS.
In policing, stalking investigations can be some of the most challenging because you have to get the right type and right amount of evidence. And evidence gathering for stalking can be quite complicated. Very rarely do you encounter a tracking device inside of a vehicle and then an in progress with the suspect actually at the scene. And you know that if that happens, it's going to be very interesting from the point of contact with the officers. This is one of those.
How do you know him, or how do you?
I was dating him for like 2 months. We went on like 5-6 dates, and not dating like boyfriend and girlfriend. We went out on a few dates, and I told him since June 26th, I told him stop. I don't want to talk to you. I blocked him from everywhere. And the guy keeps like calling me, sending me messages, stalking me. At some point he just like turned around and say, hey, like, how are you? And yeah, like, oh, she goes on a bunch of dates. Oh, she this and that. And then he told him like he was gonna like give him his hand, like, oh, like good luck or something like that. I don't even remember what he told him.
So I worked domestic violence for a period of time in my career, and even in patrol you get a lot of these stalking type cases, and you have to actually build a case. It takes time, and there have to be multiple incidents, not just one normally. And the interesting thing about these is the person reporting or being stalked is one potential victim, but many times the new person that they start dating also becomes victimized by this whole stalking process. And it appears that the young man that's with the female here is the new guy that she's dating.
You said you filed police report with
a few months ago, yeah, not with Coco. I filed it with Melbourne.
Melbourne, because he followed you out there.
So he's been calling me and like nonstop, like it's been like nonstop, and sending me like the birthday present and sending me a bunch of things. He drove this way, he drove that way, and then when we were like, I was literally like washing my feet to get like the sand out of the beach that we were, and then he just. You know what he did? He parked right next to us. He parked right next to us and he started.
Yeah, that's her red car.
Hey, I'm trying to think. Do you ever check the underneath your car for any tracking devices?
So these investigations are really sensitive because the officer is required to ask a lot of very sensitive information and a lot of personal information that can become quite uncomfortable, especially if it's male officer with the female victim or vice versa. And under those circumstances, sometimes if the resources are around, you try to find the officer that the person will feel most comfortable answering questions that can be incredibly sensitive, because those questions can involve their sex life and a lot of personal interactions that occurred between the two people involved.
So she consented to me looking at a couple common places real quick to see if there is a tracking device on here. So she has, since her relationship with him, she's changed vehicles. He shouldn't know that this is her car.
But he's still finding her.
Right. And like they sat down, they were eating. He shows up, he sees her. They get uncomfortable and they leave. They go out to the beach. She comes back an hour and a half later. And she's standing there rinsing her feet off in the parking lot. I guess there's a water hose at 4th Street for people to do that.
Yeah.
And he comes up right next to him and waves and like, just like creepy stuff. Could he be tracking your phone?
He did send me some pictures a few months ago on a zip file and I never opened it.
Okay.
So here's the interesting thing. These tracking devices can easily be purchased on the internet. You can go on the internet and just type tracking devices and then several options will come up for you to purchase. The other good thing though about that is you can also purchase devices that will detect tracking devices. And there are a lot of videos on the internet that you can find to show you how to purchase them and how to track down to see if there are devices on your vehicle, your home, your phone. Really good stuff out there to help you detect tracking devices.
Get out of the car, Walter.
Yeah, okay.
You're being investigated for stalking, so you are not free to leave at this moment. Do you understand that?
Yeah, that's fine.
So I have somebody who approaches me on a traffic stop, crying her eyes out, that you have followed her and harassed her at a restaurant, and now here you are driving by us twice.
And then you sent text messages too while we were out with you.
One of which was, stay out of Cocoa Beach. Who are you? Who do you think you are? What gives you the right to tell someone that? Are you the president of Cocoa Beach?
No, I'm not.
What is your issue?
I'm not. Let me put a shirt on. You have any ID in there?
You got your Massachusetts ID with you?
From a tactical perspective, allowing him to go inside the vehicle, and I noticed that he was kind of looking inside the vehicle. I would be concerned about that because it seems like he's the guy that they're looking for, and he knows that now the police know something about what he's doing. It's a serious crime. He's looking in the vehicle, reaching inside there. I mean, we can't see what he's reaching for, what he's grabbing. He can come out with anything.
Do you realize this is not look good at all? Your relationship with her was very clearly ended by her, right? Why would you even try and talk to her?
I want to know how many of you noticed that I'm going to likely say hand in the pocket, no pat down. The hand in the pocket is something that should be addressed, and I'm hoping that the officer did. But again, these videos are edited, and I never know if they asked before or didn't ask, but if you see it and it's not in the final edit of the video, it's something that I'm going to mention.
And then, 2 hours later, after she's been out on the beach, again try and make contact with her in the parking lot of 4th Street filling station.
I didn't do that.
Can you take your hand out of your pocket for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
So, you're telling me that 2 hours ago you didn't go to dinner at 4th Street filling station, or did you?
Well, no, I stopped at 4th Street to meet with friends.
Okay, which is your right.
And
It's a public place and it's near your home.
And then I bumped into her.
Okay,
And then I did have some words with her.
okay. And then she says she went to the beach for like an hour and a half, and when she came back and she was rinsing her feet off, you come up next to her and you start waving at her.
Where was it? Where was she rinsing her feet off?
At 4th Street,
It wasn't
where her vehicle was still parked?
there. I was at Cat 5.
Yeah, Cat 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was-
Video will show that at Cat 5 that you never left.
What? The video? I left like 3 times.
Okay, so where did you go when you left?
So let's talk about something. The suspect is standing by his vehicle. They're asking him questions regarding a very serious crime. His vehicle door is open, and we have our patrol car, I believe, behind us. Is it possible to bring him back to the patrol car and have him stand in front of the patrol car and not away from his vehicle? And we've seen this happen before. The person's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm done. They're going to book me. I'm going to jail. And jumping in their car. Can we potentially prevent that? No way of answering that. What we can say is if we see this situation, can we speak about what would be an ideal practice where we operate and do things from our patrol vehicle as the hood of the patrol vehicle is our desk, and we're very familiar with that. It has an engine block, and we can train there whenever we want to train in that space.
Do you have anything to drink at Cat 5?
I had 2 beers
2 beers in what kind of period of time?
over about a 4-hour period.
Okay, that's reasonable. You're pretty steady on your feet. I don't see you swaying. You got a little bit of bloodshot, but it's not anything that would lead me to believe that you're intoxicated while driving. But at the same time, you know what alcohol's biggest symptom is in human beings? It affects our judgment.
It does.
You think that maybe our judgment tonight has been a little half-brained?
I agree. So I stopped at 4th Street to meet a friend. I saw her with a date. I made a bad move by walking up to them. I hadn't seen her in about 4 or 5 months, maybe 3.
Okay.
And I made a bad move. I told her, you know, another Bumble date, you're on another Bumble date, you're going to come to Cocoa Beach. You know, I would appreciate it if you didn't come to Cocoa Beach. And that was a mistake that I made.
Well, there's a bunch of other text messages from the other number that she had saved from your primary.
Yeah, I asked her to not come to Cocoa Beach.
No, the other phone, not the text tonight. All the other text messages you've been sending her over the past week.
The past week?
Yeah.
I have not.
Past few weeks, I should say.
I have not contacted her in at least like a month.
Nah.
And I asked her, like, I don't know how to explain myself. I mean,
So when I subpoena your phone records,
Yeah.
it's going to show you the subpoena phone number that contacted her.
Yes.
It's going to come back to you and show you haven't contacted her in weeks from the other phone number.
Weeks. Yes.
You just said months, didn't you? Now it's weeks.
This is a very interesting to me, and law enforcement officers are going to also key in on the way that this is going back and forth between the officers and attorneys as well. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but I just want to see where the officer goes with this and why this segment is very, very interesting to me.
So she told you, hey, it's not working out, whatever's going on. Told you, leave me alone.
She did not say that, but whatever she told me.
At any point, did she tell you she didn't want you to text her anymore?
No.
At any point, did your number stop calling her and suddenly get blocked?
I mean, it did get blocked.
Okay, that number is still blocked, right?
Yes.
So how are you contacting her now?
Well, it was another number.
So why, if your number gets blocked, why would you create another number to contact the number of the person who blocked you? They obviously, it's reasonable to believe that they don't want you talking to them,
I
right?
made a bad decision.
And they told
know?
you to stop several times.
I bumped into her down 4th Street. I used a like alternate number app to ask her, like, can you please not come to Cocoa Beach? I mean, you can check her text messages. You can tell, like...
Oh, she showed them to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, my lieutenant's over there still looking at them.
And I asked her not to come to Cocoa Beach. I said, please don't bring your shit.
So my next question is, why were you in the parking lot right here?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd you drive through the parking lot here?
It seemed like, I don't know.
Another bad decision, right?
Another bad decision.
You realize how this looks. Totality of the circumstances. It looks like you're stalking her. You're driving on a license that you should have a Florida license by now. Your tag is, something's wrong with your tag, something about insurance. So
Massachusetts has suspended your tag.
not legal to drive this vehicle.
I just got my insurance reinstated today.
Well,
Massachusetts has said no.
says they don't want you to have a tag anymore.
Right.
Stalking in nearly every jurisdiction, it's a series of events. It's not just one incident. And documenting each one of those incidents is incredibly important. So hopefully you're not the victim of this, but if you are, you know someone, the documentation is incredibly important.
Can I ask you a question?
I will answer your question with complete honesty. What's your question?
Am I getting arrested tonight?
There's a good chance, man.
There's a decent chance. Now, if you start being completely and totally honest with me and stop saying, oh, a couple weeks, couple months when you literally texted her tonight, know that anytime we ask a question,
Yes.
we already know the answer.
We'll see, we have stalking charges multiple times, same night. We caught him in the act, in our presence.
Okay.
Post Marina interview in the interview room.
Okay.
21 transport. That way you can get a sworn statement from her. It started outside our city, but he continuously did it in our city over an extended period of time. And she had already texted him, stop contacting me with us there. And then he showed back up again.
Yeah.
So, if you can get a post Marina statement with everything he just said, fucking have a solid case.
Hands behind your back for me. You have anything illegal on you?
In custody. So this is really interesting and why I was kind of wondering what was going on during the interview with the officer. Law enforcement officers and people in the legal field, please chime in. Under those circumstances, would you have read him Miranda if you have him in this custodial situation where you're asking these accusatory questions when the officer said that he knew already so much of what he knew? If we get a post-Miranda statement, I believe is what he said. So we had him in this custodial type situation where we're asking these accusatory questions and the person wasn't free to leave. Do you feel like under those circumstances that he should have been read Miranda? And then if you say, well, let's get him back to the station and then interview him again post Miranda and get the same confession, then we'll have a really good case. There's a case I'd like you to look up when it comes to getting a confession post Miranda and prior to Miranda. It's a Missouri versus Siebert, and it's Seibert. I'm almost positive that's the spelling of it. Please look it up. If you Google it, this case will pop up. It was a case where the police got a confession prior to Miranda. They then re-interviewed the subject and got a confession post Miranda. That case went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And it's really interesting. And officers have to be very careful. If you have a person in a custodial type of situation and you're asking accusatory questions like that, not reading the Miranda can create challenges for you. The other thing is if you do that and you get the confession and then post Miranda, you get a confession that attempt to use, that Siebert case can very well come into play. A couple of things that you want to take into consideration for the Siebert case. Was it the same officers and the period of time that it took between the first confession and the second confession? It's a very, very interesting case when it happened and as officers deal with that going forward. So if a person should be Mirandize them. If you're not going to be asking accusatory questions and it doesn't fall within Miranda, then you go with what you have. But under the circumstance in this case and with the edits, I'm hesitant to say, but it's really interesting that during that interaction that they didn't read Miranda.
Both facing the correct way, and that car's facing the wrong way behind me. Is that it?
It's a spy device. It's literally called SpyTech GPS. He's got a receipt in here for Speedo Vanquisher 2.0.
Does he have the GPS on the car?
I bet he does. Yes, I do.
So I want to talk about this search because we heard the term, or if you haven't, there's a term called search incident to arrest. And we know that vehicles have an exception to search warrants because of Carroll, 1925 case, Carroll versus US. But there's another case that I want to talk about here, which really comes into play here, which is Arizona versus Gant, G-A-N-T. Very interesting case. And so when a person is arrested, search incident to arrest, the Gant case comes into play for a couple of reasons. I'm going to mention some of the things that Gant brought up. One of the things was that does a suspect have access to the vehicle? And is the search going to be done looking for evidence to that specific crime? And under the circumstances, I believe this falls perfectly into a Gant type of situation. On this type of stalking thing, think of the things that you could be looking for in this vehicle because a lot of these devices are hidden in certain places. So this would be a very extensive search on the vehicle, underneath, around, and on the victim vehicle as well, which is something a bit different. But for the suspect vehicle, what we're talking about right now with Gant, it's also not a bad idea at some point if it's going to be a really extensive search that patrol's not going to do, seal it and get a search warrant. Getting a search warrant is not going to hurt you. Sometimes when you think that you have some type of exception to a search, if you get a search warrant, you don't have to worry about dealing with an exception. So Carroll, Gant, on best circumstances on something that has to be an extensive search like this, getting a search warrant when you search it at a tow yard or once it's sealed or somewhere else at another police inventory location, it's not a bad practice. In fact, getting a search warrant will be looked upon very favorably.
Is that the same symbol that was on that spy thing? Yep. That's how you keep it on someone's vehicle.
Wonder if he took it off at the beach.
Very well could have.
I'm confused by this date. Date 11/1/2024.
He bought it today.
I'm not sure.
Yesterday now.
What was the date of the most recent incident?
Before today?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it would have been tonight, correct?
The most recent incident today?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like today.
Okay.
Tonight.
And has there been anything else before today?
Yes.
Anything suspicious going on?
Yeah, he has contacted me.
About how long has it been going on?
Since June 26th, I think I asked him to stop contacting me.
Okay.
And then he just kept, I blocked him on July 2nd, but I asked him to stop contacting me on June 26th.
Okay, so June 26th. And then July, what? You blocked him?
From my phone, I blocked him on July 2nd.
July 2nd, okay. And this was all this year, right? This past year?
Yes, 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let me see here. Do you know the suspect personally?
Yes.
Okay, so you would be able to point him out in court
Yes.
if you were to, and are you willing to point him out in court?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So a couple of things I want to talk about. My heart goes out to victims who have to deal with this kind of stuff. I'm a girl dad, and as a father, you look through those eyes even before you look at it through a police officer's eyes. But here's a couple of things that I would say when it comes to these types of situations. If you meet a person and you start to see red flags, trust your intuition from the very beginning. Your intuition will be there to protect you. Number two, document every single thing that occurs because the police will need that information. Number three, tighten your digital security, your phone, your computer, change your passwords. Number four, ensure that you harden the safety at your home and workplace. Let people know what's going on. Let your workplace know what's going on. Change locks. Make sure your cameras are charged. If you don't have cameras at your house, get them. They can be very helpful in documenting behavior. And number five, do not ignore anything that you think is suspicious, because the thing that you ignore can be the one thing that we need to put together a perfect case. You deserve protection, and if you do all of those things, it will be helpful for law enforcement and the judicial system to help you out.
To bring you up to speed, we found an additional tracking device on the passenger side of her car
Okay, thank you.
in the same case.
All right.
And then I have victim photo and
Oh, cool.
In my car? Tracking?
Yep, but we took it out. Plus, he's in jail, so you'll be fine tonight, okay?
He had a tracking?
There appears to be a tracking device on your car. We don't know. We can. What's the word I want to use? We have reasonable suspicion that was put there by him, and that's. But listen to me. Look at me. The reason you and I are talking right now is because we're taking this serious, and he has now stalked you in Cocoa Beach. Regardless of what Melbourne PD may have charges as well, we're going to have charges tonight, okay?
Okay.
So he's going to go to jail. He's going to be given a 0 bond tonight.
I love that these officers are being this diligent about this and putting this time and effort into it. I love that. One piece of information, or maybe constructive criticism, maybe the officer who let him know about the tracking device in her car could have called him back and said, hey, listen, we found the device inside of her car. I don't know how you want to let her know, but it's probably going to freak her out, because it did. And we can probably soften it when we let her know, so she can know that we have everything in place. Because he said all the right things, but letting them know at the same time created that degree of panic in her and made her freak out. Just a piece of constructive criticism, and I'd love for new officers and aspiring officers to see this kinds of things so that they can put those in their tool belt as they go forward.
I found it. Yeah, I got it already. No, I got it.
Oh, I was gonna help you out.
I got to go down again.
Can't help you out. You can use leverage. You got the picture on that?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
I'll be there.
Hold on. Take a picture of it here in my hand with that phone I just handed you.
So another thing is we want to make sure that we photograph those things in place, or get them photographed in place, because we want to make sure that the location of the device is seen, especially if it goes to court, how much effort the person put into putting it where they put it. And they probably did. It's just that, again, with these edits, you can't necessarily see. You saw the officer had gloves on. You want to try to preserve any evidence on there, fingerprints, DNA, everything you possibly can, because you don't want the person to have that deniability that they didn't place it there.
So listen, you have invoked your right to silence, okay? I'm gonna get Corporal Strange to take you back downstairs to the holding cell so I can get some paperwork done, okay? I've got to do some paperwork. You are going to be arrested on 1 count of cyber stalking and 1 additional count of simple stalking, okay? They are both misdemeanors in the state of Florida.
Yes, sir.
They will carry no bond tonight because of the dating situation. Don't be confused. It's called dating violence. You weren't violent in the sense of fists or whatever, but stalking falls under that, all right? So you'll be on 1 count of each of those, okay? And then Corporal Strange is going to continue his investigation. He may have some traffic stuff that's involved as well.
All I have on you, brother, is that you don't have a Florida driver's license after living and working here for more than 30 days.
All right.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, you may.
Am I allowed to kind of go home tonight?
No.
That's the sound that a stalker should hear, the sound of a cell closing behind them. They don't consider this a violent crime and it's a misdemeanor. That degree of terror that people go through when they are being stalked, most people don't understand. Having interviewed several people who have been stalked, and the fear and not being able to go to sleep and missing time at work, it is sheer terror that people are placed in when a person is stalking them. Never knowing what is going to happen, not knowing who's answering phone. These crimes need to be taken very, very seriously. I like that there is a no bond so the guy can't get out. If a person is watching this and you are doing something that can be remotely thought of as being stalking, you must stop doing it. This is going to definitely and should end you up in jail. If you are the victim of this, you have support. Please utilize the tactics that are available to you at your local police station. I know the police are not the end all be all, but use every single resource that you have. I know it can be embarrassing to share these things, but hopefully your friends and family will be there for you. And with that, I want to say it looks like this guy got a cyber stalking and a simple stalking, which the officer said were both misdemeanors. But there's a group of people that I get to shout out now that really get overlooked, and it's records techs. Every police department has a person who works in records and keeps all of the records and documentation of all of these things that occur in police departments, and they're unsung heroes because what they do helps the officers and detectives put their cases together. So if you are looking to go into law enforcement and you don't want to be on the street running and gunning, but you want to be part of the engine that makes it go, become a records tech. It's a very honorable profession and it helps policing move. Police cannot operate without records tech, and they keep all of that documentation for officers. If a person has a stalking order, protective order, you call records, and records looks up that person's record and lets you know the time and date. And most of the records tech that I've dealt with have been very efficient people. Shout out to the records techs. You deserve it, and I hope that you watch this channel as well. I hope that this situation ended up peacefully and the young lady doesn't have to deal with this type of situation going forward. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the video that's on your screen for more content just like this.